So, the stats are saying that black women only account for approximately 1.8% of the British workforce, as per the Office of National Statistics 2024. And in person, it feels like less, I know, because I'm there. And whilst fantasizing about the corporate babe lifestyle a year ago, I had no idea that a year later I'd be looking around an office thinking to myself, damn, if work was like Where's Wally, I'd be the bleep that they're looking for. However, unlike Wally, who is hidden in plain sight, even the blindest man could spot me amongst my colleagues. The diversity forms the foundation of work culture, so when people who share the same fonts as you are nowhere to be found, you may find yourself instinctually blurring the lines between code switching and professionalism. Let's talk about it. Part 1. The difference. Code switching versus professionalism. Code switching refers to changing your cultural aspects to fit in through changing traits such as, but not limited to, your dialect, appearance and or interests. Professionalism, however, is a set of standards that an individual is expected to adhere to in the workplace, usually to appear serious, uniform or respectful. Despite having their distinctions, the two definitions often get conflated. Even a billy goat knows that work is not a place where you bring your whole self, because at the end of the day, you're primarily there to make a living, not do a show and tell. However, it is easy to blur the lines between upholding a behavioral standard and suppressing yourself to the point where you're playing a character from 9 to 5. When these lines are blurred, it eventually becomes exhausting to uphold the unsustainable standard that you set for yourself. This will definitely come back to bite you on a work night out when you're caught violently spitting your beer back into the glass when you thought no one was looking because apparently you told a colleague, oh yeah, I'm gonna can't on a Friday, not in a pub with the lads on a Tuesday. Okay, moving on. Part 2. The why. Why don't you just be yourself? Imagine joining an opera choir as a soul singer. Every day it's the main performance before a never-ending crowd. You decide to sing like everybody else, despite feeling unnatural. One day, you try something a little bit different and tap into your natural abilities a little bit more. Suddenly, it feels as though choir members are side-eyeing you. You feel as though you've disrupted the conductor's flow. Brief silent gesture from the man sitting in the third row will lead you back into submitting to the conductor's intended melody. Until you can find where the beauties in your voice can slot gracefully between the conductor's intended notes, you are stuck rinsing and repeating this cycle. This scenario encompasses what it can feel like joining a company and feeling like the central point of diversity. It may catch you off guard, especially if you're used to being around people like you. Internalized pressures may make you feel that if someone were to encounter the most authentic version of you, they'd look at you sideways, so you continue to uphold a facade out of survival. Part 3. The core. The reasoning behind the behaviour. I don't know about you, but my parents uttered the phrase, being black you have to work 3 times harder to stay next to them, so much that it's now permanently inscribed on my brain. Whenever I heard this phrase, it translated in my mind as people like you don't occupy these spaces, so you need to prove that you belong there. However, the pronoun you dismisses the unwritten rule that you are not just representing yourself, you are representing the people like you who didn't get the opportunity, didn't know it was an option for them, don't even know the opportunity exists, and were never given a chance from the beginning. This makes making a great impression in the workplace feel like a life or death requirement opposed to a natural rite of passage. Once that impression is made, it becomes a standard that you must uphold to prevent your personal failures from dragging down the people who resemble you. Part 4. The point. If you are melanated with even a smidge of ambition, you are bound to be in rooms where you are the first and or only person who looks like you. It can feel natural to tweak your character to your environment to dull the boldness of your presence. However you decide to behave in these situations, you must remember that if you taint your character beyond the point of professionalism, you will simultaneously bury the characteristics that make you valuable. Can you think of anything common and valuable? The answer is no. So always remember which one you are. Until next time, Alicia Theodore.